Okay, here we are. Today we're going to talk about engine mechanical because it's so important. And we're going to be on 4 channels, and we're going to be looking at we got one of our channels is in the intake. We're going to look at vacuum pulls. Everything is going to be done cranking, fuel and spark are disabled. We're going to be looking at the crankcase. We'll talk about that. That's through an adapter. You see the oil cap, that's not the real oil cap. That's a homemade tool. Basically a spin-on adapter that goes to a WPS on range 3, very sensitive range. We're going to look at current ram. We're going to look at relative compression. We're going to see look at that. And our final channel, we're going to look at my favorite spot, the tailpipe. As you can see, the FLS. Believe me, it's there. Anyway, I'm going to get you to the scope, and then we're going to do some things to affect compression in a very subtle way and see the effect on it. And maybe eventually, if we see an anomaly, we're going to grab a trigger to see if we can identify our cylinder. So anyway, here's the scope. Let me get hooked in right here. Okay. Channel A is blue, B is red, C is green, and 4 is black. We are on black. And we can see this. Okay, we're rolling. Okay, I will crank it about 8 seconds and we'll kind of analyze it. Okay, I will stop the scope and roll it back, and we'll see what we got here. This is, to me, it's like a vital sign, like going to the doctor, and a doctor checks everybody's blood pressure. They never have the assumption that this person may have hypertension or low blood pressure. It's a vital sign to me. It's a quick check. You can prove out so many problems with this setup, with the 4 transducers, basically. And so we'll look at what we got here. We'll look at a fire cycle. I'm going to give blue a little bit of stretch, a little vertical zoom on blue, and pull it back in. And I want to filter blue. I'll get a little filter on blue. Okay, so how we got, let's look at a fire cycle and look at everything. We look pretty equal. This vehicle does not have a problem. There is it has good sound. It is good sound mechanically. So blue is the first one. That is relative compression. My starter probably has an issue, as you people probably noticed right off the bat. I'll have to deal with that. That's probably a commutator bar, that little dropout. As we can see, let's get a little more vertical zoom on that so we can see it. And I'll pull it back down. Okay, our second channel is red. Okay, that is where are we on red? We are on the intake. Those are our intake pulls, and they look pretty good. I don't see any deviation. They look like they're all pretty even. We don't have any one that's getting the other. Nothing would imply that valves are out of adjustment. Channel green is the crankcase, and boy, you know, green, that's the appropriate color because that's a really important test, and I always think it's underutilized because that, and let's take a look at that. Okay, that is that's would determine if we have compromised piston rings or cylinder wall or something where the lower end of the cylinder is causing the compression issue, and that could be the most expensive repair. That can total a car, depending on what kind of car and the extent of the repair. So just be mindful of that. We look even on our green channel. We are even. Let's roll some. Let me kind of do something here. I'll do a little Houdini act on the channel so we can see them. Okay, now we're strictly looking at green. That looks very almost engineer grade. It's very, what's the word they use? Sinusoidal. That's a big word. Nice word. But anyway, we're even. We don't see any anomalies. If we had a compromised cylinder wall or piston rings that were sticking, or we had excessive fuel wash down, that's another good one to check. We would probably see an anomaly. We would see an elevation when that cylinder went through its combustion event. Nonetheless, that's our crankcase. And channel, did I talk about relative compression? Let's get our channels back. I did talk about relative compression, and we're looking good on relative compression. Obviously, we don't see any anomalies. Starter, as I said, the starter doesn't look too good. right off the bat, you want to tell the customer that their starter's not gonna get any better. That's probably a dead spot on the commutator bar. But okay, as far as channel black, that's the tailpipe, and that's the one we're pretty much anomaly free there also. Let's give that some stretch and analyze that. And what I'll do is I'll pull get the others to go away and take a look at this guy by itself so we can analyze it. Okay, right there, as I spoke before, I like this. I like the M's. The M's look good. That's our valve overlap. And we don't see anything too many anomalies here. Nothing is pulling down. If the compression weren't as good in the cylinder, it wouldn't reach a higher point as the other good cylinders. And when it came to bottom dead center, it would be more negative when the intake valve popped off a seat and it opened. Hence, we'd see an anomaly here. So anyway, let's get the other 3 channels back. And right now, if I were in a case like this, I can prove out that, we can move stuff around. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go into a cylinder and I'm going to do something. Just bear with me. Just watch the screen if you want. I'll be quick about it, and we can do something. Something here. This is a contraption I got. Can you see this? This is a $10 Amazon hose. This is from the plumbing store, Home Depot, Lowe's or something. We're gonna put that in the cylinder, and I won't tell you which cylinder I'm putting it in, so maybe you could it will challenge you to see when we look at the together we look at the waveform. So it's kind of a mystery. I'm sure you guys will figure it out. Basically, we can affect compression with this thing right here. Okay, one more shot of that thing. All right. Okay. All right, so that has an effect on compression because that has an adjustable valve. So we're going to run the scope and okay. Okay, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at our channels. How does blue look? Like a little filter on blue to get it a little cleaner. Maybe we'll see something. A little too much there. Okay. Let's see something. Let's take one channel at a time, analyze it. Okay. Okay, we see something slight. Okay, we see good, little guy, very subtle here. Good, little guy. What we can make of that? Let's get the other channels back and see what they look like. Okay, how about we look at just the black one? Okay, what do we see here? Okay, well, we see long, 1, 2, 3, long, 1, 2, 3, long. It's subtle, but you guys can see it. That's subtle, okay, nonetheless. We do have, I'd call a very slight anomaly. Let's get some other guys back. And B, C. Okay, how about our crankcase and our vacuum pulls? Okay, I can see an anomaly not in the crankcase. Okay, I think the crankcase looks fine. All right, I do see an anomaly in red. That was where our vacuum pulls. So in a situation like this, I'm gonna get the crankcase out of there, and I'm gonna set a trigger so we can kind of help identify the cylinder. So the WPS is going to go away, and we'll get the oil cap back on. we will, at this stage, we need a trigger to identify something. Okay.